Boom shakalaka. Guys, I'm not going to waste your time today. This is probably one of the best interviews I have done in a long time, packed with tons of value. I'm joined today by FORREST, formerly of Tokenmetrics, but now of CryptoStackers. And we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies. We're going to be talking about the total market. We're going to be talking about NFTs. But the most valuable things I think you'll find from this interview, if you are limited on time, make sure you listen about TERRA Luna, about Solana, and about V1 punks. And you can find them specifically, TERRA around 9 minutes, Solana around 27 minutes, and V1 punks around 15 minutes, because this stuff could make you bananas gangbusters money. And if you enjoy this video, make sure you head over to FORREST's YouTube channel, CryptoStackers, and subscribe. I've already done that, and you should too. All right, what's up, FORREST? Welcome to the channel.
Hey, thanks for having me on. This is awesome. It's great to collaborate with you. Been a big fan of your channel for a while now.
Dude, likewise. I've been watching all your stuff on Tokenmetrics for a bit, and you've been good at picking out hidden gems, and that's what people love, finding the undervalued altcoins. And we're going to get into that. But before we do, what do you think is going on with the overall market right now?
The market, in my opinion, is at a very key decision point here in the next couple of days, really. So we've been in a bearish trend for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's been trying to retest and break through this downtrend line a couple of times now. And right now, it's really close to that downtrend line. And if it breaks through, that could be a very positive sign or reversal that maybe the bottom here was right around 33, 34K. We know that's a big support level. If we fail this retest, 26K, I hate to say it, is on the table. I know people don't want to hear that, but a lot of people are really preparing for a bad bear market. Might be over preparing. 26K Bitcoin to me would be very attractive. So I know I just said it could go up, it could go down, but that's what I believe. I think it could go up and could go down. We got to be prepared for both situations.
I'm right there with you. Like, I think between 30 and 53, nobody knows which direction it's really going to go. Once it breaks either one of those lines, we have a clear idea. But until then, it's just basically sideways. But also with like the $26 speculation, you know, like maybe it will take going down that lower for people to actually like capitulate and just be like, it's over, and then we can have a reset, or maybe not. But that's the thing about the future. No one can predict it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you've been with Tokenmetrics for a while, and now you're changing things up. So what exactly are you into now?
Yeah, so I'm doing YouTube full time. My channel is called CryptoStackers, just all about stacking crypto. We believe crypto is the future, and you know, the market goes down. That's okay, because we can just accumulate more crypto for the next bull run. So built my own website and kind of charting software for trying to simplify entry points for different cryptocurrencies. Like everybody gets confused. Like, am I buying the top? Am I buying? Is it a bear market? Should I be buying? Should I not be buying? And I've just made a couple of indicators and tools for different charts that really make it, in my opinion, easy to tell if it's a low risk time to buy or a high risk time to buy. So yeah, just trying to simplify and demystify technical analysis for just the average person.
That sounds awesome, because, you know, everybody wants to buy when the FOMO is like hitting the fan and the price is at all-time highs. And that's when everybody wants to buy. And then as soon as it pulls back, everybody wants to sell. So it's like the wrong time. So having indicators like that would be helpful. And I will put a link to your YouTube channel down in the description, so anybody who wants to can go there and check it out. Now, with that being said, so you're talking about like stacking cryptos, and everybody wants to know, like, what's the best way to be a millionaire yesterday? Like, how do I do that?
Right.
So I mean, like, Bitcoin's too slow, and then there's crypto, and then even that faster than that, there's NFTs. So like, what are your thoughts on, I would say safely, because I don't like to recommend risky things for anybody, but for safely making the most gains that somebody can? How does someone go about doing that?
Well, first of all, obviously, I came from Tokenmetrics and I love Tokenmetrics. So I would highly recommend, and I believe you keep a Tokenmetrics link handy in the link in the description below, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And I would highly recommend checking out Tokenmetrics. Not only is their dashboard really good, but their newsletters that they put out have an investment research team. So I actually used to lead the investment research team where we'd be researching NFT projects, altcoin projects, trying to basically give customers venture capitalist level deal flow and insights into what are the next big projects coming up. And we had a whole series like hidden gems and whatnot. And people don't realize that there is a method to the madness. Like that does take a lot of work, and the average person just doesn't. Even me doing YouTube now and focusing on some technical analysis, I don't have time to go through 50 projects in a week, because I mean that 50's small in comparison to the amount of projects launching right now. And you've probably heard the statistic, like 98%, I don't know what it is, but 90+% of companies fail. It's even worse for crypto projects. So when you're putting your money into a very small, altcoin, you have to have some curbed expectation of like, this is a high risk investment. There's a really strong chance that I could lose money on this individual altcoin. But if we take 10, 20, 30 of those bets, and we don't just throw all of our money into that one altcoin that looks promising, then we can start to build a strategy where we can see those 20x, 30x, 40, 50x gains, but we can't expect to 50x every time we put $500 into an altcoin. It's just not realistic. But yeah, definitely check out Tokenmetrics.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll put a link to that down there too with your links. Now, here's a common question that gets asked a lot, because a lot of people who watch the channel, and I'm sure you'll get this with people watching your channel as well, is that people are pretty much all their free money is already in crypto. So they're like, or NFTs or whatever, but they're already all in. And so they may have bought projects that have come down a little or a lot so far. And now they're seeing new things out there and they're like, oh, what do I do? Like, should I sell this to buy that? Should I hold on to this? Is this going to come back? What's your thoughts on that type of thing?
Yeah, so there's a vicious cycle in crypto, because when all the hype comes in and Bitcoin's up at 60, 65,000, even $69,000, that's when everybody's trying to find the next 100x. And that's when the 100x has already happened. So there's a kind of this vicious cycle in crypto that sooner or later and this is not financial advice, but I believe that sooner or later people have to break. They have to look at when Bitcoin is overbought and look at when things are at an all-time high and just crazy. And that's when you want to be considering trimming and taking 5% profits. And I'm not, a lot of people, they'll sell everything. They'll try to sell everything and then they'll sell it all at Bitcoin's at 50K and they sell too early. And I'm a big proponent of you trim, you just pay yourself. If your portfolio is up 2 or 3x, take 5% out. Just for easy math here, let's just say you put in $10,000 and you 10x that in the bull market, and now that 10,000 is 100,000. Take out 10,000, right? There's nothing wrong with trimming 5 to 10%. And then guess what? You're not, when the market crashes, you're not in a situation where you're already all in. You don't have those $5,000 to $10,000 in stable coins to start speculating on altcoins, which when the market crashes now and potentially over the next few months, that is the time to be searching for the next 100x, right? People have it mixed up. They've got it reversed where they don't take profits, then they don't have any money to buy at the best time to find those 100x's, and instead they're investing at the top, and eventually they got to break the cycle. So my recommendation, and of course not financial advice, but is to figure out, just start breaking the cycle. So right now, Bitcoin's in a pullback, the market's in a pullback, we're in a bear market. Now is when you kind of got to force yourself, and I hate to say it's uncomfortable, to start dollar cost averaging into some of these projects, start moving. And it might not be a meaningful amount, because you might not have a meaningful amount. You may be all in already and you might be wrecked. You're in good company. A lot of people got wrecked. But whether it's $100 here, $100 there, starting to average it into the market when there's a pullback, when the market's down. And then when the bull market comes back, which hopefully it will here soon in 2022, if not 2023, then you start taking profits because you were investing when the market was down. So it's somewhere along the line, the cycle has to be broken.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So That being said, that now is a good time to start looking at some deals. Are there any altcoins you're looking at right now that look pretty darn lucrative?
Honestly, I think some of the bigger ones that a lot of people already know about are underrated. I think everybody's looking for that next gem, and I think a lot of the gems have already been established and they're at steep discounts right now. Like if you look at Terra Luna, and I know they had like some sort of corollary, there may have been some allegations or involvement with like the Time Wonderland and Abracadabra money thing, but that's what, like, Terra Luna is a fantastic project. And it's kind of on the operating table lately. It's kind of been, really crashing. It topped out at well over $100. I think it was $104. The other day you could have picked it up for 40 something. So that's a perfect example where it's not a hidden gem, but it's sitting there right in front of you. And if the market keeps capitulating, imagine being able to pick up Terra Luna for $30, $40. I don't know if you remember when the market crashed back in May and June, May, June, July, Terra Luna went from like $50 to $4. It was 90% off. Imagine buying Terra Luna at $4 to $5 right now. You got that 20x return. And Terra Luna was not, that it was a top 50 cryptocurrency by then. It wasn't hidden under the fold. Now, it's, specifically, I've been really kind of focusing a little bit on the NFT space. We've seen that NFT, bull market really pick up here despite crypto being down. So I do have one project that I've really invested in, two projects that I've invested in heavily on the NFT sector side. So I'll talk about those. But I think for hidden gems in the crypto side, definitely check out Tokenmetrics, and definitely don't discount the stuff that's right in front of you. Just, top 20, top 25 coins like Polygon Matic, when they fall 60, 70%, that's a great buying opportunity in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a great point because, just remember what Cardano did in 2017 and then in this bull run as well. Everybody thought it was done after it fell in 2017,
Yep.
but then it came right back, and we could very well see that with a lot of the other big projects out there. So go into NFTs because I just saw on the Google Trend searches the other day that NFTs surpassed crypto in terms of popularity of searches, and people are loving it. So what's the play with NFTs nowadays?
NFTs are simultaneously the most difficult and the most easy money to make out there. NFTs are really tough, and it's really difficult to tell which NFT projects are doing well. And I'm learning a ton about the space myself. I personally look for risk discount, what I would refer to as risk discounted NFTs, basically NFTs that I can discount my risk with in some way or another, or NFTs that have serious historical value. So the first one I'm talking about, what would be an example of a risk discounted NFT? Well, I'm kind of into Zed Run. I don't know if you've heard of Zed Run, the digital horse racing NFTs, where you can actually, it sounds absurd. It sounds so silly, but you can breed your digital horses and earn fees for breeding your digital horses. And as long as you have a, good, desirable horse to breed with, that's income coming in the door. So you may pay $40,000, and I know that's a lot for just a digital horse, but you may pay $40,000 for a really good digital horse. But if you're making $1,000 in Ethereum from breeding fees every single month, all of a sudden that $40,000 after 12 months, you've made $12,000, and you really are only at risk for $28,000. So you've discounted your risk down from $40,000, or from 40,000 all the way down to 28,000 over the course of a year. So it seems risky spending $40,000 on a horse, but it's a cash flow positive model. So I look for opportunities like that where I can actually earn money with my NFTs to discount my risk. On top of that, Zed Run was particularly attractive and still is, because I was speculating that they were going to be doing an airdrop, a Zed token airdrop, and that's actually been confirmed for Q1. It should be in the next month or two that Zed Run is going to airdrop a token if you own a certain type of horse. So that's exciting. I've invested in Big Time. Big Time is a video game. It's kind of like World of Warcraft-esque, but there's NFTs. They're called space NFTs. And in order to earn in-game tokens that they'll eventually launch, you have to own one of those NFTs. So I look at that as once the game comes out and you can play it, a lot of the players are going to be wanting to buy those space NFTs so they can earn a living or they can earn money by playing the game. Kind of like Axie Infinity. You got people that are earning $20 a day playing Axie Infinity. And then the most recent project I've gotten into, and this was, being in the right place at the right time and being able to recognize, being in the space long enough to recognize a good opportunity when it just kind of slaps you in the face. I saw this on Twitter, to be honest. I saw this project or this NFT project called V1 Punks. Now, V1 Punks is very interesting. Larva Labs, the creators of CryptoPunks, back in 2017, when they originally launched CryptoPunks, there was a bug in the contract that made it so if you turned around and tried to sell your CryptoPunk, somebody could buy it and they wouldn't have to pay you the Ethereum. So they were essentially illiquid. They were essentially useless. You couldn't put them on the marketplace because somebody could just basically take it from you for free. So what did Larva Labs do? They airdropped a second round of CryptoPunks. Well, that second round of CryptoPunks are the CryptoPunks we know and love today that are so expensive. Well, V1 CryptoPunks, those first ones that had the bug, somebody created a smart contract wrapper on Ethereum where you can now take that V1 Punk and then wrap it and basically patch the bug. So the smart contract bug. So now they're actually tradable again. So as people have been wrapping these V1 Punks and finding them in their wallets from 4 years ago, there's become a market for them. And the floor prices on these V1 Punks last week when I invested, they were like 4, 5, 6 Ethereum. It spiked up, and the other day it was 29 Ethereum, currently at about 22 ETH. So that's just one of those ones. I literally just saw it on Twitter. I started doing some research, digging into it. I'm like, holy cow, these predate the actual real CryptoPunks, and they're actually legitimate. It's not a derivative spinoff project. So that really amazed me, and I ended up just completely aping in, and it's been a wild ride. But there's been like drama with Larva Labs. Larva Labs is like, they don't want to recognize them. They say the second punks are the real punks. The V1s aren't real, but that's just kind of stirring up more emotion and drama, and like people are buying V1 punks almost as a protest trade against them. So it's interesting.
Wow. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of development in this space, and it's, cryptocurrency is interesting because it's not something that you can just sit back and be patient with, because it's always developing and moving forward, and there's always the next trend. So what do you think? Do you think NFTs are just going to hang around as the dominant trend for a while? Do you think there'll be another shift in trends? Because, last summer it was DeFi before the NFTs. Now it's NFTs. You think these will hang around, or you think it's going to change yet again?
I think NFTs are ultimately too fun to go away, and I think there's a generation out there of young people that love they like art, they love blockchain gaming, they like everything to do with NFTs, and it just like I think NFTs to a lot of people that are outside of crypto, even inside crypto, there's this wall that they just can't get there. They just can't get there in their mind. And it's really difficult to a concept to understand. Like, you're buying an image for thousands of dollars. It's just wild. It's insane. But I think the people that really understand it, it's like, they love it and it's so much fun. And there's different aspects of it. Like I was talking about, like, you can breed your NFTs and make money that way. You can speculate, you can collect rare art. There's just so many different use cases for NFTs. A lot of them are going to have video games built around them and utility that way. So I do think we are in a massive speculation bubble when it comes to NFTs, similar to what we saw in 2017 with ICOs, where you could have just thrown up a website and said, ICO, this is going to be the next big token. We're going to, be the next big bank, but on the blockchain, and just get millions of dollars in investment without a real plan. I think we're really in that space right now where we're just seeing, we're going to make this cool video game and these are going to be the NFTs. And then people invest a bunch of money and they're probably not going to be worth anything 2-3 years down the road. But the big projects, like, I don't think Bored Apes are going anywhere. Justin Bieber just bought one. There's been so many big names to buy them, that I think that's really going to legitimize and put NFTs on the map for a lot of people. So I'd say like 98% are going to be, really rough investments, but that if you can get one of those blue chips or a hidden gem NFT project, I think there'll be some real value there. It's no different than had you been able to pick Cardano or pick Binance coin or even Ethereum back in like 2016, right before the previous bull market. Like some of these projects that are the NFT projects that are still going to be around in 5, 6, 7 years, I think they're going to be worth a lot of money.
Awesome. Well, let me ask, because you mentioned Ethereum, so I'm curious what you think about that, because I just noticed that I think it was like $1 billion of ETH was burned in the last month just on OpenSea. And do you think that's going to have an impact on Ethereum price, like the decreasing supply because of EIP 1559? Or what are your thoughts?
I do. Yeah. So it's really tough. And you get, you talk to some developers and you talk to people that are they're almost too far ahead of the curve. They're like ahead of the market, and they're talking about, all of these other layer one chains, which are fantastic, or Avalanche, Phantom, all of these are all of these layer one solutions that are alternatives to Ethereum, that are Solana, just kind of like a better mousetrap. They're more scalable. They can do higher throughput. But the market is really, in the crypto space at the moment, in my opinion, is really built around Ethereum. And a lot of these other layer ones have been successful because they're EVM compatible. They're compatible with Ethereum smart contracts. So they've kind of just been feeding off the success of Ethereum. So while ETH is expensive, I do think there's enough activity on Ethereum, enough big money on Ethereum, right? Institutional money on Ethereum in DeFi, that they can continue to grow Ethereum. And you've got Polygon, you've got some layer two scalability solutions being built on Ethereum, and you've got side chains, and they're going to be working on sharding. So I know a lot of people, sometimes the popular thing is to be like, AVAX, Phantom, Solana, and all those are great, but I don't think they're necessarily Ethereum killers yet. I think Ethereum is going to be around for a while. And I do think that EIP 1559, like you said, burning all of this Ethereum, just crushing the supply, just making that supply just so much lower, to the point where it's deflationary, right? And we know Bitcoin's got great tokenomics, and Bitcoin's inflationary, and that inflation every 4 years gets cut by 50%. Ethereum is going from inflationary, similar to Bitcoin, to not being cut 50%, being cut over 100%, to where it's deflationary and the supply is decreasing. I don't think the market has priced that in yet. And I think we're going to find out that's going to have a very huge effect. So it's going to be really interesting. I think Ethereum is much more valuable than people realize.
Awesome. So anything else you've seen in the market right now that you want to share with us?
I'm happy to run through charts.
Let's take a look at some charts.
Sure. Let me share my screen here. So, this is Bitcoin's chart, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Is we've been retesting this downtrend line several times. And from a trading perspective, I know a lot of people aren't traders, short-term traders, but from a short-term trading perspective, if you are inclined to be trading in and out of the market, these are usually great places to sell. The reason being is because you sell the resistance of the trend line and it goes lower, and you can buy back cheaper and buy back down here. And we have ways to identify these key support levels. But the other reason to sell is, well, what if you sell and we go back into a bull market? That's what everybody's worried about. What a lot of people don't realize is that we're so far into this bear trend that it's very likely that if we do explode out of it and break through this downtrend line, if you sell here, there's a very strong chance you'll still be able to buy back cheaper on the backside of this trend line. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Also, I mean, this green box down here, just, anywhere below $34,000, I think is a fantastic bear market accumulation zone, where if Bitcoin's, do you really think that Bitcoin's never going to go above $34,000 again?
Yeah,
exactly. Like it's going above $34,000, whether it's a year from now or 2 years from now or 3 weeks from now. Well, so doesn't it make sense?
I was just seeing that MicroStrategy's bought another 600 Bitcoin or something like that. And their average price paid for all of the Bitcoin they've ever bought is about $30,000. So to me, it would seem almost unlikely for the price to go below that level, or else they're going to be scooping it up like gangbusters.
Exactly. So as scary as it is to be putting money into the market in a downtrend and with the threat of a bear market looming, with after all of this price action going downward, after your portfolio's gotten wrecked, do you really think Bitcoin's not going above $34,000 again? We're currently at above 30, we're at $38,000. But if we were to drop back below $35,000, doesn't it just make sense to buy it below 34,000? Because we can almost be certain, even if it drops all the way, we get a bear market, it drops all the way to $20,000, $18,000, $17,000. Even if that happens, so what if you bought it at 34,000 and then it turns around and goes to 120,000 later on down the road if you're patient for a couple of years? So that's kind of my strategy of hey, if this thing drops below $34,500, it's just time to accumulate. We don't have to be looking for immediate returns, but we can absolutely be accumulating. So this is actually my platform here. So this is CryptoStackers.pro, and I like to chart on here because I've got that indicator I was talking about of when it tells you that tells you when the market is overbought or oversold. And you can see I just called the easy bands. All I did was I just loaded up the Bitcoin chart here by clicking it, and I hit the easy bands button. So it's one button. You don't have to do like fancy trend lines or technical analysis, and it just tells you where are we in terms of the market right now. Well, down at the green easy band has historically for Bitcoin been one of the best place. I'll zoom in a little bit to buy Bitcoin. If it hits that green easy band, it's like a buy, right? When the pandemic came around in March of 2022, that hit the green easy band. It was time to buy. Right now, we're kind of halfway in the zone, and that's kind of accumulation time. We want to be buying under the mean, which is the yellow line. So this is just kind of telling us the market's a little bit oversold. We could revert to the mean, and it's really a buy zone and not a take profit or sell zone, right? And the same thing goes for when we get overextended up towards this red easy band. That's when our mindset needs to shift to, okay, what do we have in our portfolio, whether it's Bitcoin or otherwise, that we can just trim 10% off of, right? So this is just a filter, and it works for
can you take a look at Solana?
Yeah, Solana. I'll load up Solana. So all I do is click on Solana down here, and the chart will load up. It is loading quite a lot of data, so it can take a second. But I'm going to clear this out here, and we've got Solana, and I'll just throw on the easy bands really quickly by clicking on the easy band button. They'll load up, and you can see Solana. What's crazy about Solana is and these easy bands take a while to populate. They take some trailing data to populate. So they start populating here in January of 2021 because it's got to crunch the numbers on all of this data. But it essentially was down at this green easy band back in December of 2020. And that's when you would have wanted to buy it at $1.20. Then we had an insane bull market where it actually used the red easy band as support. But now, for the first time since 2020, Solana is on its accumulation band. So I've been a lot of people have asked me, like, FORREST, over the last several months and last year, especially as Solana was topping out here, why aren't you a big Solana bull? And it's not that I don't like Solana. That's not the case at all. It's that Solana for so long has been overpriced. Right? It's been up here. And yes, we could have seen it go to $400 or $600 if Bitcoin would have kept going, but it was just at a high risk time to buy. So even up here, it's a high risk time to buy. There's high risk of a correction, a really bad correction that took us from $61 all the way down to $20. So up here at $250, there was a high risk of a correction, and we've gotten that correction. But now you can see it found support on the green easy band, and it's heading back up. And had you bought on this green easy band at $87, great accumulation zone, So Solana, to me, now I'm bullish on it. Now it's like, great project. I don't want to buy it at $260. I want to buy it at $86, right? So, it's not that I haven't been bullish on Solana. It's just, it was too overpriced once it got up above this red easy band. And now it's like, all right, let's scoop some.
Those easy bands are pretty awesome. So people can find that by going to your website at cryptostackers.pro, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Well, that sounds like some pretty awesome stuff. It's been a lot of fun having you on and chatting about what's going on in the markets. I know we have some very interesting times, a lot of nail biting times for a lot of people, but it's kind of like, welcome to crypto.
Oh yeah. If you lose money in crypto, you're among good company. Everybody, just look at Michael Saylor. His portfolio is wrecked right now, but is he buying more or is he selling? He's not selling his Bitcoin. He's buying.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And everyone goes through it. Unless you're extremely lucky, pretty much everybody loses money the first time, but then you hang in it for a few years and you're doing pretty good. So like I said, I'll put the links down in the description so people can find you. I guess a last word of advice for, people in the market now or people who may have entered at the top. What would you tell them?
Break the cycle. This is your first bear market, bull market cycle. The way that you make money, you're going to make more money in your second and third bull market cycle because you've figured things out. You've made the mistakes, and now it's just time to correct those mistakes. So, like I said earlier, just break the cycle. Now is when you start accumulating. As Bitcoin drops below $40,000, as it's below $35,000, even if it's only $100 here and there, you got to break the cycle and talk yourself into, all right, it feels like putting money into a sinking ship and it might go lower. That's fine. Be in it for the long haul. Throw $100 in here and there to Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of those, really strong plays in the top 10, 20, 25 cryptocurrencies and break. Then when the FOMO happens again, when it's up at that red easy band, when Bitcoin's up at $69,000, and you think it's going to go to 200 and it feels like it's going to go to 200, break the cycle again, do the opposite. Don't have to sell every 5%, it's so easy to just sell 5%. You don't have to, hitting that 100% sell button is tough, especially when things are going gangbusters, but you can just talk yourself into selling 5% when things are overextended, and then you'll have money to rinse and repeat.
I love that advice. It reminded me of some people that I got into dollar cost averaging back in 2017 towards the top. But so basically they started investing when Bitcoin was around $20,000, but every month they were putting in some more money. And then when Bitcoin hit like $60,000, they're like, how come you didn't tell me it was going up that high? I would have put in way more when it was $4,000. And I'm like,
right.
Who knows, but it could very well happen again. So that's great advice. Thank you so much for joining us on the channel. And I encourage everyone to go check out your channel, and we'll see you later. Thanks a lot, Forrest.
Thanks for having me on. It's been awesome.
Peace.